Tell them, say we tire, we are coming. What a wonderful way to begin another time of nationalistic engagement. Once again, this is the Deep National Hour. I'm Dr. Ibrahim Dassamansu the first. I'm the Executive Director of the Democracy Empowerment for Economic Progress. DEEP. DEEP is a civil rights nationalistic organization propagating the true sense of nationalism and the call to national duties. Deep wants to see a Liberia of opportunities for Liberians and the land where the rule of law is adhered to by officials of government and the citizenry while acknowledging the Constitution as a blessing to all Liberians. Set into motion as an action-based nationalistic organization to ensure that Liberia becomes a great country and proves itself as God-blessed nation in Africa through deep nationalistic activities. You can follow us up on our Deep National, our Facebook page. That's the DEEP National Hours Facebook page for a flow of this activity, and we'll highly appreciate for you to share this show this evening. I also appreciate you just go straight on the True FN page. You will also see it there, and we appreciate for you to share this particular show. Today we'll be looking at the Constitution, how the Constitution has been breached. It's not supporting the fundamental principles of empowering the lives of Liberians. We're going to be looking at jobs that have been taken away from Liberians, the fundamental rights of Liberians, constitutional rights of Liberians to get jobs that have been taken away by that government, have been commercialized by that government, taking those jobs away and giving it to non-Liberian to occupy, a gross violation of our constitution, a gross violation of the Decent White Act. There are lots of violations that are unfolding in this country that undermine the economic growth and sustainability of individual citizens before we start talking about the country at large. So we will take a short batch of on the sound so that we can give you an opportunity to be able to connect one or two persons and let them tune into the Deep National. Our program will always be on this platform every Friday by 5 p.m. and on Saturday by 8:30, 9 o'clock on this particular platform. So again, I'm Dr. Ibrahim Dassamansu. The first, I'm a nationalist, the executive director of the Democracy Empowerment for Economic Progress. So we just take a short break. Just tune in quickly to the Deep National our Facebook page and also just subscribe to the True FM page, and you have us as you share and get something connected. Okay, yeah, the volume drop this one. The mic is too loud. Okay, all right. Once again, I want to appreciate you for tuning in. Um, there are things that every citizen in this country needs to know. When you exist as a nation, every citizen of that country is entitled by law to benefit from every resource in that country. The resources of your country is intended to benefit every citizen. And it is important for citizens to understand what it means to be a citizen, what it means to bear the name of a country, your duties and obligation, your privileges, and those things that you are to benefit from. The Constitution of the Republic of Liberia also provides that you should be educated on the function of government so that you understand what government is all about, what are they engaged into, and how you can interface with your government for the general good of this country. So if you see that a country exists, it means that every government is the people creation. Every government is the people creation. Means that in order for you to have a country, you have a government. It means that the people must go stand in line and be able to cast their vote to elect a leader. Even though for the Liberia scenario, this country have always been making bad choices, but whatever government that comes out of those choices they make, still answer the question that how governments are made. They are made by the people. So every government is the people creation, not the master. Today, you will see in Liberia, instead of the government serves the people, the government generates money only to satisfy their quest. Almost the entire fund that is being generated budget, you see, it's just for the purpose of enriching our corrupt leaders. Because the fact of the matter, if the livelihood of your citizenry is very, very low, you are rated among the poorest on the planet, yet people are taking huge salaries home. It points to the fact that the entire government is insensitive to the plight of its citizens, but they are only interested in benefiting themselves. There where the tenets of democracy comes in. There where the power of your education comes in. I'm not saying degree, I'm saying education. Meaning that you know that if the government is not functioning, the government is not meeting your needs, you don't sit and wait for 6 years to pass before you say we will change that administration. 6 years too long, 4 years too long, 2 years too long, 1 year too long, 3 months too long. If the government starts to do it today, it's important by today to tomorrow, the citizens should be able to stand up to correct it. In economic time is a vital concern. It's very important. So you don't sit and wait to allow your government to corrupt you and you permit it for the next 6 years. It's terrible. It's too much time wasting. A person can enriching themselves in 2-3 years, and even if you remove them from office after 6 years, their lives are all established for the next 30 to 40 years. And that's one of the things that has been tolerated in African nations. They allow few individuals to possess that economy and enriching themselves, their families, those that are connected to them. It is terrible. It's hurting Africa. It's hurting this country. There is nothing in this country that the country has passed over. We are still struggling for water. We are still struggling on education. We are still struggling on the health issue. We are still struggling on electricity and telecommunication. Everything is a crisis because the citizens have not stood up to correct one thing. The only time citizens stand up, except a politician wants to propagate his own ideology, and he gave money to few individuals to come and stir people up to do certain things. But for the citizen, for them to stand up, if something is happening, for them to stand up and say, we will not permit these things to happen, they will never do it. Okay, they will never do it. Even university students that will be saying all that thing, you don't see them coming together to stand up to ensure that the right thing is done, and no matter how long it takes, they must get it done before they leave the streets. It doesn't happen in our country. So politicians feel comfortable that they can do all the terrible things, loot the resources of this country, and the citizenry would just talk on one of the talk shows, and they would be laughing, enjoying their gardens and whatever drink they have to drink, and they'll take and just have fun. Okay? Because talking cannot move them. You know that in Liberia now, politicians don't care when it calls them, you still use all kind of inflammatory words. So it doesn't really move them. Okay? And that is not democracy. If you think that that is democracy, that is not democracy. So we say every government is the people creation, not the master. So every citizen has moral and constitutional responsibility to ensure that government works in the best interest of the country. You don't allow group of individuals. I don't know why you people can give so much respect to these guys to the extent that you don't even want to make them to feel bad. You don't even want to engage them. You allow them to carry 6 years and 9 years and say after those years. Do you know what it means for you to suffer for even 1 month? Before talking about a year and 6 years and 9 years. Those are all bad decisions. You make bad decisions to put in bad people, and you make bad decisions to leave bad people into offices until they can enrich themselves. You should not be partisan in those things, and you should be able to checkmate people even after a few months of errors. Okay? You should be able to checkmate. Take, for example, this government, Joseph Juma Bwaka government, besides it being marked with gross incompetence, we can call super incompetence nowadays, corruption is almost everywhere, every time. What have the society that call themselves educated society, that read themselves to say we are the eyes of the society and this and that, what have they done to checkmate? Checkmate means that you are standing to prevent the next occurrence. You don't want reoccurrence. What have they done? They keep in the backyard, in the studio, like where I am, and just save some crafts, and the people continue one unfolding to another unfolding to another unfolding. They know the only thing is somebody just take 2 minutes or a minute and call on a talk show and just say something. That's all. The citizenry are not engaging. They are not ensuring that people don't rob them. Okay? And I hope the action of Donald Trump can bring some sense some emancipation to our citizenry. I don't support Liberians being deported, being brought here. I wish there could be a way to keep them and help them, because this place is almost like a living hell. Okay? So they can remain back there. But those of us in this country who cannot realize that we are doing the wrong thing and keep doing the wrong thing, let us stay in our little quarter and feed the pinch. All the pinches we just feel it, or they heat the fire. They don't go through it, So maybe then some people will understand that it is time to start making the right decisions than making the wrong decisions. Okay? So in the Liberian preamble, it says that we have our natural inherent rights to form a government. Why are we forming this government? We are forming a government to provide, among other things, unity. If you see a government that is divisive, it means that you need to stand up and then be able to set a checkpoint to say stop. Government today, CDC set its own checkpoint for seditions, and the Unity Party is also setting their own checkpoint for it. So you see other parties and these parties, every devilish act that has been done by CDC government is being defended by a group of people. Every devilish act that has been done by people from Unity Party is being defended by Unity Party. It means the two group of individuals plus the opposition who sits on the other side, they are not interested in this country. They are interested in the various groups, various parties. And the same people who are crying for poverty, they are crying no money to send their children to school, we don't have reliable electricity, water, and other things, are the same people who are being used by the politicians in their respective groups. Look, let me tell you, Liberians, politics is only intended to get the best to serve you. Politics is not intended to enslave you by your decisions. So if you were a part of any political group You should know the reason why you elect a given leader. If you elected someone for the purpose of providing water, electricity, jobs, if that particular person gets into office, regardless of you electing that particular person, the person cannot perform, cannot provide those things. You should be able to critique that particular person, condemn that action of theirs, and ensure the person works. You can say, because it is my devil, so I will dress it and protect it. You are not harming. It's a clear manifestation of illiteracy. Completely. It means you are illiterate. Those primitive actions will only derail the opportunity to have growth and develop in your country. And I hope, if Donald Trump had been somewhere around many years back, I think, and taking the kind of action, African leaders will start changing their attitudes, and the citizens themselves who are putting these terrible characters into offices to exploit them, and they themselves as citizens defending them, will have a second thought. Okay, you will have a second thought. They will have reason why they need to revisit some of their actions and decisions. Leaders should serve you, they are not your master. So when they are doing wrong, you don't go back and defend them. It's being ignorant. And no, it's not idiotic. It's not appropriate. No matter how you think it is. When you have made a wrong choice, be able to face it. I made a wrong choice. I elected this guy for this purpose. He is not doing it, and I will make him to account. You can say, because I made a wrong choice, so I will defend that wrong choice to make it a right choice that will never be right, because it is wrong in your mind. It is wrong in the minds of everybody. It is wrong. So it's only out of stupidity that you'll be trying to turn that which cannot be turned, and to remake the ways that were remade. You can do that. You can. So if we have our constitution that is responsible to ensure that there is clear transformation in our lives to improve our livelihood, then we ask ourselves a couple of questions. Why are these people not ensuring that our country improves? What is not? It is not happening. Now, if you go down into your constitution, you will see that Article 7 Article 7 of your constitution, the Liberian constitution, Article 7. Article 7 states that it is the government responsibility to ensure that it manages the national economy and the national resources, the resources of this country, to ensure that Liberians benefit from the natural resources. It states that the government shall, it means that it is mandatory, that the government shall, consistent with the principle of individual freedom, social justice inscribed in the Constitution, manage the national economy. This is where my discussion is coming from. You have to manage the national economy. You have to manage the businesses. You have to manage the jobs. You have to manage every financial transaction. The exchange, money is the medium through we have an exchange. So it's a medium of exchange. So if people should get money, it means they should get money using services or goods. It means it is the prerogative of the government to ensure that the medium of service providing should be in the hands of Liberians. The medium of goods provided in the market should be dominated by your citizen. And your constitution states that and the national resources of Liberia in such manner, again, in such manner, I shall ensure maximum feasible participation of Liberian citizens. The Constitution says that Liberians should be at the top of its economy. When you talk about jobs, best jobs, well-paid jobs, it should be for Liberians. On the contrary, in Liberia, well-paid jobs are for non-Liberians. You have you have a law that says that the Decent Work Act of 2015. You make it decent, it sounds decent, the book look beautiful, but in the actuality, it's not even working. It's not. It means that this government and previous government have chosen to downplay the Constitution. But the Constitution one side and do what they want. How can you have a ministry called the Ministry of Labor that should be working under the law? The law that says that the government of Liberia shall not give employment to non-Liberian. That is the labor law. That is Decent Work Act 2015, Chapter 45, 1C. Those of you who have access, you can go check it out. If you look at the active employment policy of the Republic of Liberia, those are things that I have some control over. You will get to understand that it is the mandatory responsibility of government to identify all job seekers. Every Liberian that needs job. It is the obligation of the Ministry of Labor. Go to the Ministry of Labor, you will see a department called the Bureau of Employment Services. That bureau was set up, I think the Bureau of National Employment Services. But that bureau was set up for the purpose of ensuring that Liberians get jobs. That bureau is responsible to go out there and find vacancy. Those vacancies will be brought to the ministry. The ministry should have a database of all applicants, those who wants to get job, even students who are prospective graduates who should be leaving the university. That particular bureau is to ensure that you identify all qualified individuals, whether the person did masonry, the person did carpentry, whatever, but is intended to fulfill Article 7 of the Constitution. You should not be the one turning around all over the place looking for job when there is a bureau that has been set up by law, receiving money to exist. That bureau is under obligation to ensure that if you don't have the requisite qualification for a given job, that bureau should create a counterpart process. What am I trying to say? If an institution brings an equipment and you don't have qualified Liberians who are up to that because their advancement in technology, maybe you brought some computer program and I did computer about that particular version, I don't have authority over it because lack of expert coaching. So that particular bureau is to ensure that an experienced person, someone who could be a non-Liberian, will come and serve that capacity for possibly 3 months if it requires 3 months, 1 month if it requires 1 month, and give the Liberian an opportunity as a counterpart to learn that particular skill that individual has for maybe 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, but not a year plus. Come on. I know. We learn that particular skill, and that particular person will aspire. That non-Liberians will aspire, will leave that job, and that job will be occupied by a Liberian. That is the law. The Ministry of Labor was separated from the Youth and Sport Ministry for the sole purpose of focusing, directing their efforts to ensure that the labor market is protected. Unfortunately, there is a bureau called the Alien Registration Bureau there. Unfortunately, which is demonic, for you to have that bureau that should ensure that it regulates to see which job a non-Liberian occupied is now. The Ministry of Labor is now boasting of giving revenue to government through the sales of jobs that the Constitution says that Liberians should occupy. They take those jobs, give it to non-Liberian, and then they celebrate that they are generating resources for the government. You see how terrible our leaders are? A job. So you know, in economics, it's just simple. It's just simple economics. Whatever tariff you place on goods and services will go on the consumer. So even if you told the people, say, a work permit will cost $1,000, any vendor, any business person would not have problem with that, because you know that you just spread $1,000 on the goods and services you're providing, and those who benefit from that, they will definitely suffer the consequence. It's just simple economics. So that's the reason why protectionism is important, to protect certain jobs, certain businesses for Liberians. Okay, so I'll highly appreciate if you can just go strictly on our page. That's the Deep National Hour Facebook page. Deep National Hour Facebook page. That is DEEP. I'll appreciate for you to just join that page, just subscribe, share it. I will be happy, make some comments so we can be able to see it. Stephen Name, Myean Hammond, all those people that types in, we are highly appreciated. And let's subscribe to it. Just go Deep National, our Facebook page, and just share as many times as possible. Okay, so this is something that Liberians need to stop. Education is worthless when you cannot translate it to transform your life for the better. What good it is for you to have the entire area filled with people with degrees and other things, and they are in poverty, whereas people are occupying jobs that may not even have those credentials they have, but they are sensible enough to ensure that they spread whatsoever the $1,000 or even $2,000 is against it, and you pay and suffer it and get a job and enjoy it. It's just simple economics. So one with the Ministry of Labor that should be ensuring by law. I'm sure you the areas they can find it. By law, you have an entire department that is the Manpower Development Department there, who is headed by a deputy minister. You have that whole department there to ensure that the manpower development of your country is upgraded. Okay, you have the entire department there. All right. So you see, you have to ensure that the right things are done. Look, I'm a nationalist, and I would tell you that it is wrong for you Liberians to sit there hearing such a message and we refuse to take action to transform your lives. It's not just only about your life, but the lives of your family members and other Liberians that will benefit if these things come into reality. Okay? You can have a society where the law says that, people try to give reason why they should do the wrong thing in this country. And every time you permit the wrong things to take place because it pleases you, you are destroying not only yourself, not only your family, not only the community, but you are destroying the country. And it keeps placing you as one of the poorest. You are among the 5 poorest in the world. It's because you are making the poorest of poorest decisions. So the labor law prevents it. It is important for us to understand that we as Liberians, we need to take back those jobs from these non-Liberians, whether the government supports it or not. No individual in government is higher than the law. If the citizens can stand up and say, enough is enough. Look at one person called Donald Trump in America. I know you say, man, not president, but he's just a single person. He said, this must not take place. No matter how you interpret it, the man is a nationalist. He uttered it from his mouth. I'm a nationalist also. I don't love to see Liberians suffering and other people are celebrating what you should be benefiting for when we have laws. That's the reason why we sit on the platform and give you the education that you need to run with. But if we provide the education to you and you sit there and say, oh, Dr. Sellu is saying all the good things and that at you, but how can they bow? And you sit down in your corner, it means that you are happily embracing poverty. Poverty is traumatic in other countries, and you are saying poverty is as a normal way of life. That is very unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. There is no good in your education when your education cannot transform your life for the good. It cannot positively impact the society. There's no good in your education. Because education is not to create darkness, as we see in Liberia. Education is to provide enlightenment, bring brightness, bring development, transformation, emancipation. That's what we go to school for. We don't go to school to end up in poverty. Then there's no need. That's the reason why you see there's so tit-a-toe around here. People don't really, I appreciate why you should study your lesson, learn properly, and go through high school. Because when you go to school, anybody can become representative, senator, and whatsoever in this country. Period. Because education is not something like a light of transformation. It is bad, very bad. So now, let me ask you the question. The preamble says government is established to provide you with opportunity, job opportunity, business opportunity. I show it to you. I go back to the Constitution, Article 7, and I tell you, say, the Constitution also says in Article 7 that you should have maximum participation in the thing. It means that you should have a lot of opportunities in your country. Now, I also tell you that the labor law also tell you in chapter 45, 1C, that says that no non-Liberian should work in this country, no matter what, until it is proven. But to tell you how we are so poorly educated, I'm not part of that cycle, but how this country is poorly educated. Even your state university that is not even ranked among the top 400 universities in Africa, you are still way down the belt, can go to the state and take a non-Liberian and put her above it. Look, when you breaching your law, all the justification you want to give is being idiotic. Give all the justification. Because there is nothing wrong that anybody wants to do that you can create justification. Laws are made to define the conduct of people's behavior. So if the law says only one person can sit here, do not create the justification why 3 or 4 should sit there. Until you go and repeal that law, only one person should sit there. But if you come in the case of Liberian, the law will be there. You can print it out big and put it right in that identical row and say, only one person. The Liberian man will give you the justification while 5 or 6 persons will sit there. Today, you're talking about national ID card and citizen ID card, Who can get citizen ID card? Who? Except maybe Lebanese and Indian men want citizen ID card. Everybody can get citizen ID card. You don't have no national pride. You are not nationalistic. Laws are laws, and laws must be followed. Don't get justification to circumvent and contravene your own laws. Because everywhere you circumvent your laws, it will come down. You have to go down, effect down there. In the court, they will circumvent it. In the police station, they will circumvent it. At that office that you sign a document, they will circumvent it. At the port of entry, it will be circumvented. Everywhere. Because evil has a tendency of creeping in every corner if it is not tamed. That's how it works. So you see, in developed countries, they can put young boys and young girls into positions like executive director for your international organization and go interview people who will go America or Europe. They can put any young guys because their orientation is, if the rule says the person have one letter missing in his or her name, the should be disqualified. So the person know it. But it says that you get one letter missing in your name, person you disqualify you. Therefore, for all the unnecessary justification, it's just rule. If we just learn to live by rules, things will change. Things will change because rules always, look, let me tell you, system develop every organization. If your church gets system, your church will develop. But if one person decides everything in that church will just be the way it will be. Okay, it's the same way in organization, the same way in your country. System. But you allow people to circumvent your system, preach it, and you sit and tolerate this kind of thing. And waiting for 6 years. Why will you wait for 6 years to correct something that can be corrected now? When your property get damaged and other things, and nobody cares about that. People not getting treatment in the hospital, nobody cares about that. But when the capital building get on fire, they throw millions of dollars there. The president on cars, they throw millions of dollars there because the entire resources of the country is there for the president, the legislators, those guys. And that's why the money is all there for. And the citizens sit there and tolerate those kind of things. So, bunch of guys can go and go sit down in hotel for months, and government resources are being used to sponsor them. They live luxurious life, and some of you can even get money to pay your children's school fees and even have good meal. I don't know. And you sit there, you tolerate it, you accept everything that's possible in this country. And that is something that we are saying that must stop. Stop allowing evil to become King Kong in your country. You will see. Judges will just be playing with poor cases, and everybody said they can't do anything. Police commander will just play with poor cases in the environment. Everybody knows about it. Nobody cares. They want to talk about it in the quarters and do nothing nationalistically to be able to change it. That's not how country runs. But especially if you want to have a successful nation. We will talk about this. And I will show you the provisions of the law that tells you that even your salary, can you imagine? Your law tells you that you should not make less than that $150 when you're working in formal areas. But if government workers can't even get that means on payroll, they can't even get to that salary. How can they be a good example to go and tell those guys out there that your actions are wrong? Look, this country needs a transformation. That's the reason why I always tell you, you will need a very strong, radical, educated nationalist to transform this country. Someone who will make sure that hell will roll. What should be done, be done. Other than that, this country can go anywhere. Because the citizens are weak, they need to be energized. The government is messed up. You see any genuine persecution around here? They just only do those pacified things to just make you excited. We're going to investigate our president. We're going to investigate our president. Those are all things just make you excited that something happened. Do you have a history of people who have fully accounted, or government who have ensured that people fully account for their actions, misuse of public funds? You don't have it. All these guys are just jokers. They do things to make you to feel good. Then you quit to celebrate. Oh, the government doing something. Yeah, the government has started. How long? Few. Oh, the government serious. Government right now. I can't think. How long? The people know you are very easy to be carried away. You don't sustain your bed. So I'm saying, I'm equally disappointed even in trade union groups. That would be, you already have trade union groups in this country. If those guys, they need to work. Look, my brothers, I want to tell you, you need to stand up. You will have companies in this country that will not be living in this country for the next 40, 50 years. But we'll be hiring people on 1 month contract and 2 month contract and 3 month contract, and you people sit and tolerate such as. And sometimes you can make us so angry that we want to say some things. It's been completely foolish. You know your government own, they sit and work with the devil. So wherever money can come from, even if they will undermine the sentencing themselves, they permit it. There are lots of sentencing today. What could you? I can bet you that if you live from here today, most of the citizens that are working in areas don't even have employment letter. They don't even have status. They don't have status. You can bet me on that. And And you think you have a serious government and you see them waiting for them, they know to wait. So now they're saying and they do it with Chile every 6 years. So you market your life for 6 years? You wait until 6 years? If the people can get simple employment letter or ID cards at the very entity in the formal sector, you think that they are prepared to adhere to the law that says that those store bought should not make less than 150 US dollars for 8-hour work when they can work for almost around 12 hours? But even the guy who says that when his salary goes up, he doesn't even want to appreciate the people who call for his salary to go up. He doesn't want to appreciate. When you have a movement that is standing for the rights of the citizen, it is then obligation. It is the not. Look, let me tell you, you become nationalistic to support that endeavor, so that even if you are not the direct beneficiary, but let it bring change in your country. That's what several people do. You support. Look up. You talk about Martin Luther King. You know who started to support Martin Luther King? Somebody in our country will say Kobo Seller. The people understand that something that will bring transformation, everybody got to support. But you'll be amazed that I will spend my time and resources to come in studio and speak on behalf of more than 5.5 million persons in this country. And somebody will be so naive to the extent and take letter and bring it to me and say, we are inviting you for fundraising, come be chief and a sponsor. You see how devilish and small the mindset is? I thought you should be supporting me rather than you writing me to go and be and support you. Basically, it gotta be me. I'm talking about every initiative that you hear that is in the right direction, that is genuine. You should be able to support that initiative. That's what I'm saying. So we will talk much more about this, because we got to also talk about the liberalization law. We're going to talk about the businesses that the law provides. We even talk about Liberal Business Association. We talk for them. And they succeeded. They got money. Where else? In the form of appreciation? No. We said that because you will make bad good groups to become bad. You got to stand with them when they speak for you. You got to build a society. That's what it's done in other countries. When you listen to America, just to say Hillary, you going to contest. You know how many millions are the raised just in 3 days? Because people pay people to bring about good. Stand for this. But you make your good leaders to be corrupt because you don't support them and you expect them to use their resources, time, and life for your good. And when you benefit from it, you even turn around and tell them thank you. People need to change. So that's the reason why I was saying you need a radical, educated nationalist who will be a leader to make sure that the citizens understand what it means to live as a homogeneous body, as a country, as a nation state, supporting initiative that brings about transformation in the country. You are suffering because you are divided. So trade union group, most better worker union, you need to stand up. You need to stop these 1 month contracts and 3 month contracts, and we're just trying to help you. We want to put too many intimidation on the job site. Too many intimidation on the job site. We will talk much more. And I want the brain to stand up. Don't wait for 6 years. You need to do what you need to do now. I will be on this platform every Friday about 5 p.m. and I want you to invite others to tune in. Please don't miss out on this. Saturday we'll be here about 8:30 like that. 8:30 we'll be on this particular platform. So I want you to set that time and be able to. We must change this country together. This country must change. So we have few minutes to just entertain few calls from you, but it is not always good to always listen to things and hear it and say it's good. You need to take actions. Actions will bring things to transformation. Okay, so we have the signal that we'll be taking 5 calls, so they will open the line for you to put in your calls. Okay, so so, so we Manamu. Okay, to place in your call, you can call 0777 615. That is 07777 So again, to put your call, you can call 07777 615 0777 and you'll be live. Let's take our first caller. Hello. Yes, sir. All right, sir. Yeah. Mm. That's it. Thank you very much, my brother. All right. Thank, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. All right, brother. Thank you very much. You're going to go 2 minutes. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, my brother. Okay, 0777077 Hello. Good afternoon, sir. Your name and where you calling from? Go ahead, sir. Okay. No, 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 no. Yeah. All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Iraq. That's it. We'll talk much about it. Don't worry. We'll talk much about it. Thank you very much. We'll talk much about it. Hello, caller. Yes, sir. Your name and where you calling from? All right, sir. Go ahead. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. That's very, very important. That's very good. Okay, there's the last caller. I currently signal we have there. Okay, hello. Yes, sir. Name and where you calling from? Go ahead, sir. Okay, yes, sir. Okay, thank you very much. That's good of you. All right. We will speak to that. He was not an African American became president. He has a long history that transformed him to be an American that even went to the rank and file of the legislative branch and all this stuff. So he's an American. All right, now, so let us close off today. We have too many things. Sorry, we can't take our time. We have a single that we can take call, but we'll be on the platform again Fridays, 5 p.m., and then Saturday at 8:30, 10 p.m. So we'll be on the show again. I'm Dr. Abraham Dasamasiru. The first, I'm the executive director of the Democratic Empowerment for Economic Progress. Deep is a civil rights nationalistic organization propagating the true sense of nationalism. We can take call again. Thank you very much for your input. We will always be here. And we say, Labyrinth, it's time to stand up. Please go on our page. That's the Deep National, our Facebook page. That is DEEP National, our Facebook page. And share, subscribe, and be a part of the movement. However, you can be an offer help. Do it, and God bless you. Until we meet again, I'm Dr. Abraham Dasamasu, the first nationalist, the second director of the. God bless you. Until we meet again, I'm Dr. Sellu.